I'm about to start one of my annual Christmas traditions. I've really been doing this one in some shape or form since I was just a little girl. It's making sugar cookies. Granny, I would love to help her make them every year when I was little. And I was just always amazed with the cookie cutters, cutting them out into the shapes of the trees and the stars and the angels and all that. And then also putting the sugar, the colored sugar that Granny would use. It was just so much fun. When Paul got big enough, he helped too. And at some point, me and Paul, we just drove Granny crazy. Probably we got so silly, and I got big enough that she just said, "This is now your chore. You can do it." So for many years, it was me and Paul making them together every Christmas, and we always had a lot of fun, a lot of silliness, and then of course, got to enjoy the wonderful cookies. Once I had Corey and Katie, I immediately started the tradition myself. Of course, I had to wait for them to get big enough to help. And I love the pictures of Katie and Corey that I've got from those days. Really sweet with their little faces, and they thought it was wonderful fun, and I thought it was too, until the end of the cookie thing. And then every year I'd wonder, why did I do this? Why do I let them help me? Because it makes such a big mess, and it would always end up in silliness, like especially when they got a little bit older, like maybe early teens and teenage years. It would just devolve into total silliness, and we'd end up making like, or they would, not me, sideburn cookies and things like that instead of using the actual cookie cutters. But a real tradition for us is the Christmas sugar cookies, and I bet you've made them. I bet you've had them at least at somewhere, maybe one of the parties you go to or something like that. So my recipe is in this book that Granny gave me after I got married. It's not all of her recipes, but a lot of the handwritten ones, and it does seem like there's a lot of Christmas ones in this. So here's her in her beautiful, neat handwrite. I can't write that neat at all. But this is the recipe. You need 2/3 cup shortening, 3/4 cup sugar, 1/2 teaspoon grated orange peel. I think that's what makes these so good. What makes it's just the real key to these. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 egg, 4 teaspoons of milk, 2 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I will link to this recipe. I've got it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn. I've shared it there several times. I will link to it. I've shared it in a video before too. I do think that the real key to why they're so good is that orange peel. It just gives a little brightness that's just perfect with the sugar, and perfect for Christmas too, especially. Now a lot of people ask me if they don't want to use shortening, what could you use? I suppose you could use butter. I've never done that before, but it probably would work out okay, I would think. Some of you who know more about that, you can give that information in the comments, and you've probably tried that before. So if you don't want, don't want to use it. Now if you had real lard, really great, wonderful rendered lard, you could use that for sure, but today I've just got shortening. So I'm just gonna, let me read the directions first, and then I'll kind of show you as I go along. So thoroughly, we're gonna have to go over to get my mixer out, cream the shortening, sugar, and orange peel, and vanilla. We're gonna add the egg, beat until light and fluffy. Then we're gonna stir in the milk, and we're gonna sift together our dry ingredients, and then blend that into the creamed mixture, and divide dough in half. I'll turn it over to see the rest. Chill 1 hour on lightly floured surface. Roll to 1/8 inch thick. Cut in desired shapes with cutters. Bake on a greased cookie sheet about 375 for about 6 to 8 minutes. Cool slightly. Makes 2 dozen. I love this last part that Granny's put. When cutting shapes, press with colored sugar and makes real pretty cookies. I love that. Love that part. So I guess first we could go ahead and do our dry ingredients. That was our salt and our baking powder. I already had the flour in my sieve here. This is a good recipe just because, for all the reasons I've already said, but also it's one of those that you can make this part, and I usually try to do that, but it didn't happen this year. You can do this part a day or two ahead of time and just leave it in the refrigerator, and then have a big day of just making the cookies, and you can split it up that way. I've never tried to freeze it, but you probably could freeze the dough too. Okay, I've got that sifted. Now I'll get the mixer out and we'll go over there. I already got my shortening and my sugar inside there, and I'm going to add my little bit of vanilla, and I'm going to add that wonderful orange peel. to make sure to get all of it. And then we're going to beat it together, cream it. Okay, we're going to add our egg and we're going to beat till light and fluffy. We're going to, I don't even need to lift it, we're going to stir in the milk. And we're going to add the dry ingredients. Add the rest. That's it. So I'm going to turn the dough out onto this mat here and kind of give it a knead or two and then divide it and put it in the refrigerator. It's a really soft dough, that's why it helps to refrigerate it. Smells so good with that wonderful orange. Trying to get all those little crumbs back in it. Don't want to leave any out. I think that's good. I could use my knife. I usually just do it in a ball, or somewhat of a ball. Some plastic here. Okay, I'm going to put them in the refrigerator and let them chill for about an hour. You could go longer than that if you need to, and I may have to. And then later in the day, I'm going to make the cookies, and I hope Katie can have a little time to help me. That'll make it a lot of fun and remind me, of course, of all the years that I did it when Katie and Corey was little with them. Corey's gone today, or she would help me. And then also those memories of me and Paul and Granny doing them. So stay tuned. Well, it's much later in the day. I thought I was going to be able to do it earlier, but I had to do some other things. Had to go to the post office, mail some cookbooks and mugs. Thank you so much to everyone, and calendars. Thank you so much to everyone. And then I got to visit with some friends for a little while, so that was really, really nice. And so now it's pretty much supper time, but now I'm back to the cookies. I hope Katie's going to be able to come and join me here. I'm going to go ahead and get started though without her, although I need my rolling pin. Go ahead and get my little one out too for Katie. As far as decorating the sugar cookies, you wouldn't really have to because they're sweet enough, but Granny always just made, and it's what I do, just using food coloring with sugar and make you some colors. I didn't have any green food coloring. Apparently I don't have any, so I've just got my white, which is not really white because I buy unrefined sugar and it's a little brown, and red and yellow is the other two. And then I got out some various different little cookie cutters. So, and I know I'm going to need some flour. Go ahead and put some out. And then just start making them. I think I said the original recipe said if you do the 1/8 inch, it's equals out to about 2 dozen cookies. If you do them thicker than that, of course, it wouldn't. And sometimes mine end up thinner than that, so I get a little bit more. I don't ever measure that part of it though. I just start rolling out and see what happens. Katie's, I think what she's doing right now, the baby's asleep, but she's doing some last minute Christmas stuff. She's got all kinds of, and if you hear whining, that's Olive, and there's nothing wrong with her. She doesn't need to eat. She wants to go outside, not because she needs to go outside, because she knows there's something out there. She's wanting to chase squirrels and things like that. So she's fine. She's just wishing she was out and about with the outdoor creatures. Anyway, Katie's doing some last minute things. She's doing all sorts of little, I don't know what's got into her this year. She always does a lot at Christmas, her and Corey both, but Katie's really tried to be extra Christmassy this year. So some of my, I should have got me a, maybe I can just put some flour out. Some of my, I got out some of the old ones that I've had forever, and they have those little places in them, so you have to really dip them in flour if you want them to, your cookie to come loose. Oh, that one did pretty good. Go ahead and lay that one out. These ones like this are not so bad, but if Katie comes on, maybe she could tell you about some of the stuff she's been doing. I love the tree. I could just do all trees and that would be okay. I like to use, put me some flour on it too. Some, and I broke that one, so we'll have to start all over on that one. I like to use a spatula just to get them up. Sometimes makes it easier to put them over on the cookie sheet. I need to put me some flour on top too. But she's got all kinds of stuff going on this year. She's really been studying about how to make Christmas extra special. And extra funny too. I think that's a lot of what she's doing is comical, funny stuff. You can see those little, when you're rolling them out, see the little specks of orange? I think that's what makes it so good. Flour and try on one of mine. This is one of my favorite ones. It's just a like an ornament. I think it's so pretty. I'm doing pretty good, except I've got so thin with my dough that I can't really see the little imprints, but that's okay. One year, a lot of you told us, and we tried it, and it did really work well, was to do milk on top of the cookie, like with a little brush, and then put the sugar, and that helped it stay on better. And then also, I think it was, a lot of you said you make like a little, in other words, you make a little icing almost for them and paint that on, and I know that's really pretty. You can watch some YouTube videos with people doing that, that's mesmerizing, how they get like the little paint brushes and just make them works of art, really. I'd be afraid to, not afraid, but I wouldn't want to damage the work of art cookie by eating it. They're so pretty. That's such a talent. Let's try a star. Stars are my favorite. Maybe Katie's getting close to coming, so I'll have some all spread out far there. Let me move over slightly, and I'll start over here. Matt's coming in the door. You come in, come on. Here she comes. First snack. I've been talking about all of the stuff you're doing for Christmas. Of course, I don't know any of it. I know a few of the jokes, but
I have a bunch of jokes.
Katie's doing jokes and doing, I don't know what all you're doing.
It started as just one thing, and then it kind of just grew. My plan has evolved.
So was you just really feeling the Christmas spirit this year, or what?
I was feeling the spirit of mischief is what I was feeling.
The spirit of mischief.
Just to be honest, yeah.
Oh, you got your some rolled out.
Thank you.
I got some flour right here to
Yeah.
to be able to dip your stuff in.
I need to put another bar of soap in the bathroom. My bar of soap is all but gone.
I got some flour for you to. I got some of these old ones out, but you got to really watch the.
With the detail there?
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe I'll try this instead. I might even just do a little bit of this right here. Kind of get it down in there. There we go. Yes, I have felt the spirit of mischief this year.
I'm sure the monkey in the car is going to turn up somewhere. Yes.
The monkey's already been planted.
Oh, already?
Yeah. It's hard to get the little stars to.
Well, you look over there at mine. I don't worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah, and I done went and ripped that. Daggone it. Let me try again. Okay, it's because I was thinking about the monkey. The monkey's already been planted, but the car's not been planted. And I can't tell anybody about where it's going to go. Because it won't be a surprise.
We'll have to wait and see, huh?
Later we can share with the viewers about the mischief that was going to take place when it's all over with, because...
So you really are, a few weeks ago, Katie probably didn't watch it. She might have heard it, though, while I was reading it out loud about Christmas tricks. You're really doing some Christmas tricks.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it started as one little thing, but then it just turned into... I don't know. There's just all sorts of funny stuff I can think of to do. And then that's how it starts. You're like, oh, well, I could do this. I've got to. It's too funny. Oh, well, I could do that. I've got to. It's too funny. And then it just grows and grows and grows and gets out of control.
So I guess this will be a Christmas with a lot of laughs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, unless we don't think Katie's jokes are funny.
You will. You will. Trust me, you will. You will. I think they're hilarious. And you will, too. Trust me, these things, they will be funny. I gotta recruit the help of some different people, though. Because some of these jokes that are going to be played on certain people, I'm going to probably have to everybody's going to be involved, because everybody's going to have to help me play tricks on the other ones.
Oh.
So later I'll have a discussion with you about what I need you to do to help me trick somebody else in this family.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. Sorry, I'll just throw it over there.
That's okay. It would be fun. It would be hilarious.
Reminds me of, I didn't really do anything like that when I was a kid, but when I first got to realize that, when you're real little and you do enjoy getting presents and all that, but then you get to a certain age and you realize, well, you'd like to give presents too,
Yeah.
But you don't really, you're just little, you don't have no money and no way to go to work.
No, and you don't really understand.
So I would go in the closet and find one of Pap's ties that he never wore, and I'd wrap it up to give him.
That's
I would
so
do
funny.
stuff like
That's
that.
so sweet.
So they would just get stuff that they already
owned,
but maybe they forgot about. Pap, he wore ties on special occasions, but like every Sunday to church, he didn't wear a tie. So I just
That's
dig
cracking
around in
me
the
up.
back and find an old tie or an old screwdriver or something like that, and wrap it up and give it to him.
That's funny,
And
Mom.
the same for Mama. I would do that for Granny.
That's like me and Corey.
Find one of Paul's toys and wrap it up and give it to him. I know, Olive.
She's wanting a cookie. Actually, I think she wants to go
She
outside.
wants to go outside and chase stuff that she sees out the window and she can't.
She's literally been out about 40 million times
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Literally. Oh, that's
nice.
cute.
Yeah, that turned out good.
It's Frosty with a broom.
And then I remember when I first, maybe I had babysitting money or something like that. High schoolers here, maybe in your area too, they used to sell every year to, I don't know if they went on a trip or what. I don't think I sold it, but Steve did. He was 4 years ahead of me. But it was called Tom Watt. And it was this big case of stuff.
Really?
And that was one of the first, I remember really buying stuff from that for, I don't know, maybe I'd just got a job. Maybe I'd just been working at McDonald's or something. No, I don't think so, because I would have been, unless it was somebody else's
Well, what
Tom
was
Watt,
Tom
not
Watt?
Steve. Steve's, it was all kinds of stuff. It was like knick-knack kind of stuff, but maybe like motorized cars and little stuff. I don't know. It's just like kind of out of like one of the Christmas books you get now. This has got all sorts of different stuff. Maybe some socks or maybe a tie or something. I don't know.
It's just cracking me up. Yeah. Somebody have to comment below because there'll be somebody who remembers that.
Yeah, Tom Watt. I think that was the name of it, Tom Watt.
What, like the word what or what?
It's like W-A-T-T, I think. Yeah. I think. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
I might have to try to... Oh, Lord. Be careful, Katie. Don't be too...
Okay, I think we could decorate those and stick those in the oven.
I was just trying to make room for my other one.
And that made me think of something else. What was I going to say about...
I don't want to be too hard.
When Corey and Katie was in elementary school, the PTO there, they did this great thing every year.
Santa shop.
Decorating? The Santa shop. And they would go and like at a discount place, and then they probably got a discount. I helped sometimes. Because of being a school or whatever, but they would buy all this little knick-knack stuff, just little stuff.
I didn't know that's where they got it. They would shop for it like at discount places.
A lot of it come from this place over in Young Harris, A to Z. I don't know if that place is still there. I hadn't even thought about it in years.
Really? Oh my gosh.
There's this huge, crazy. Big old building, A to Z.
I never knew about, I guess I never thought about that being a kid. You don't think about where the stuff is going to come from.
But anyway, they would have it, and then kids could shop in there. It was really, really cheap stuff. You know, didn't take a lot of money, and they even helped kids that didn't have money to spend, and so they could buy their parents and people stuff for Christmas anyway. And the PTO bought it all. Anyway, it was really, like I said, really cheap stuff, like just 50 cents or something like that. But so Corey and Katie would get to do that, and they could buy, and y'all got some interesting things. Sometimes you might buy like Matt a pair of gardening gloves that had flowers on them and stuff.
We would buy stuff that we thought was pretty, not in mind of like whoever we were going to give it to.
They always had stuff for pets, so Ruby Sue always got something, some kind of something to chew on or whatever. Anyway, that was a nice, very nice. I don't know who thought of doing that. If it was Jamie
I was about to say,
or who, I don't know. It was like they were already doing it by the time I started helping with PTO.
You think Miss Little, Sheila?
Maybe, I don't know. But
that's such a sweet thought. I forgot all about that.
But y'all looked forward to that.
Oh, we did.
All the kids did, I'm sure.
When we were in, so that was probably like what, like 2004?
Yeah.
Somewhere around in there. At school, they always did really special things with us. So all the week of leading up to Christmas, before we get off for Christmas or whatever, we did all these special things. We did crafts. So back then there'd be 2 classes of each grade. So there'd be 2 4th grades, 2 5th grades. And so whatever the other grade was, they would come into our classroom, or we would go to their classroom, and we would watch movies. We would have little popcorn pizza party things. Like I know I mentioned the crafts. We just did activities. We did all sorts of fun stuff.
Lots of ornaments.
We made lots of crafts, lots of ornaments.
Let's see, how much did I say? Cook them for.
And it was, oh my gosh, it was so fun. We looked so forward to it. It was just so exciting. It was one more way to kind of get into the spirit of things. And then when I went to high school, it was kind of just like, hey, get out. Go enjoy your holiday and leave us alone. You know, they don't do stuff. Right. You know, so we were kind of just like,
we need to get our other out.
Yeah, this is a bummer. Yeah. We really did enjoy. I mean, and you know, looking back now, I realized that it was just because of all the adults, the teachers. They went to all that effort to really make it special for us. They went out of their way. I think about those teachers. Of course, there's still great teachers there, and some of those are still there, actually, too. But when I get out the Christmas ornaments every year, I think back to those teachers, you know, all of them, and think about how maybe they didn't realize, and I sure didn't realize what they were doing. I mean, I liked it when when Katie and Corey brought home the little ornaments each year, you know, that they'd made, but I didn't realize how much I would like them years later, you know. It's just so precious. It is, and I don't think that they realized, you know, that they were They were contributing to our core memories. Like, those are some
yeah.
of the sweetest memories I've got. And I still think about them so fondly. And I don't even know if they still do stuff like that. And me just being Scroogey, I'm saying, even if they do, it wouldn't be as special as they did it with us.
You're too special, even though it's some of the same teachers.
Yeah.
There's not many of them left over there, but there's a few.
What's funny is by now there'd be some kids I went to school with that would be teachers.
Well,
some of them turned around and went to school and become teachers, so they might be doing some
or some of their kids are in those classes.
Yeah, definitely, probably more likely.
Had kids quicker than you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
such a sweet thought around this time of year. Such a sweet thought.
Christmas is nostalgic, like a nostalgic time.
It is, yeah.
Reminds you of one of Matt's favorite movies. Well, his favorite Christmas movie is the National Lampoons.
That's my favorite. I love it.
Cousin Eddie and all that. But the one part where they leave Clark, they forget him and they go shopping.
In the attic?
But he's in the attic with his bathrobe and that weird thing. But he's watching those old movies, you know.
And those are real.
Yeah, that was
his fan. That's real.
That was it? I didn't know that. But that's the, even then, you know, even in the movies, it's like nostalgia.
I'm singing the song, but I can't remember what the words are. But me and Ira watched, which he didn't watch it, but me and Ira watched that movie like last week. So now I'm trying to think about the song. And Clark is sitting up there in the bathrobe and his
the turban hat thing.
Yeah, the thing on his head that he found, and his feet went through the ceiling.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting up there, and then one of his aunts or whoever that is comes back, and she's like, "Man." You know, well, first of all, she shuts him in there. She says, "It's drafty. What's going on?" And the attic was open.
His mother-in-law, I think.
Right.
She shut him up in there. Or maybe it was his mom. I can't remember.
One of them. So it's the one that was on I Love Raymond, I think.
And it was his mother-in-law.
So she shuts him in there. He gets stuck. And then his wife comes home and says, "Why gotta stow all these presents somewhere?" And then she pulls the attic latch and he falls down. Yeah. But man, yeah, that's just, that song is sweet. That whole scene is sweet. Yeah, looking back on that whole thing.
I don't know what is your favorite Christmas? Is it that one?
Probably, yeah. Now, there was another one. I guess this is just a funny little movie done in the early 2000s, but I really like Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Corey loves Polar Express, but I'm gonna be 100% honest because Corey's not here. That movie creeps me out.
Oh, I think it's sweet.
It creeps me out. There's something about the AI, CGI, like fake cartoon stuff. That stuff bugs me out.
That from when it first came
out.
Yeah, we did
in the
theaters from school. Again, that was one of your Christmas things that year.
I'm not gonna lie, that stuff spooks me out. I mean, it's all right, but Corey just goes crazy over it and sings the song, and I'm like, no, don't.
Corey's favorite, though, I mean, she likes that one, but she loves all the old ones, like White Christmas and all those. Mm-hmm. I like them, I just don't ever watch them.
What else was she watching? She watches White Christmas and...
We hadn't watched anything this year, really. We didn't even watch the... Christmas just comes so fast, we've not even watched
we need to watch the Griswolds, yeah.
But the Elf and Home Alone, I love Home Alone. Home Alone.
We always watched Home Alone.
I like all the Home Alones, even the last one that's got a different little boy in it. Corey and Katie used to watch that one. You'd watch that one year round.
Yeah, we did.
The little brown-headed boy.
You know, we tried to watch that one again, and the nostalgia was so strong I thought I'd throw up. So I was like, I'm sorry. Me and Corey made him turn it off. I don't know. That was a weird experience. I was like, we can't watch this.
It was like your deja vu stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, turn it off.
Corey and Katie are weird. Like, I have deja vu sometimes, and I enjoy that feeling of thinking, I've been here. What's happening? This is so familiar. Corey and Katie get weak and trembly, sweat, almost throw up.
If I don't start immediately try to go thinking about something else, I'll just pass out wherever I'm at.
And it's the real thing. I noticed it when they were even little kids. It would, I mean, you know, when they...
There's probably a real term for it.
I don't remember how I figured it out, but it makes them... Paul said there's a little synapses in their brain that don't work right.
Yeah, I don't
It actually, one time, Corey had a seizure, honestly, and we had to take her to the hospital. I mean, you know...
That's what started it, too.
That's what started it. She had the deja vu.
She literally told me, she says, Katie, I had deja vu. And then she just, like...
Had a seizure.
Like a doorpost. Just started leaning.
Shaking and you know, all of it.
But she was okay. And it never happened again.
Fine. It never happened again. Yeah.
We just tell her, I'm like, if you get that feeling, sit down and we'll just start talking about it or thinking about something else and it'll go away.
And that was actually at Christmas. It was during that time, wasn't it?
Was, I think.
And it was winter. Let me check our cookies.
It was
Winter dance week, I think.
Let me tell you something. We're just a weird bunch.
I think it was some kind of, either it was at Christmas or it was during the summer, but it was when Corey, it was Winter Dance Week.
It probably was. Yeah, no, that had to be right because you had to wear that heart monitor to make sure they were like, we just want to make sure that it wasn't
she couldn't
a
go.
weird thing.
So the first night she couldn't go to the dances. But then
Some
Linda's, what I was going to say, told us that it's talking about if it ever happened again, when we explained to her what we thought it was after they cleared Corey at the hospital, there's nothing wrong with her. She said your right brain and your left brain,
Either lobe, either side of the
but
brain.
colors and numbers come from different places. Is that it?
She told us to recite. She learned that somehow working with the elderly or something.
Like with stroke.
Yeah, stroke patients to recite. If you recite, the patient recites a color and a number. That she explained it that it would fire each side of your left brain, your right brain, and that it could kind of break that cycle. So then later she told us about one time she was on the dance floor with someone there, just an elderly man in the community who actually had a stroke while we were there dancing, and she did that with him, and that helped him until the paramedics could get there. But that's kind of a freak thing. But it's funny, I don't think about it.
But she told y'all to do it if you felt like that again, to do that.
Yeah, and I do.
Red.
I just go ahead and start
15,
listing
whatever,
my favorite colors if I start feeling weird, and it's okay. It goes away. But I don't feel like that much. I really don't. Corey probably feels like that more than I do. I just don't.
Strange though for me, like I said, deja vu's kind of like, ooh, this is neat. I feel like I've been here before. I've done this before.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't.
For them, it's like this horror feeling.
It is.
Break out in a sweat and get nauseous and.
It's not a good time. No.
Anyway, how did we get off on that?
I don't know, because we were talking about the holidays and
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, you said deja vu with the Home Alone was too much.
Oh yeah, I said it's just the nostalgia. I was like, no, we'll leave this in the past. That's okay. We don't have to watch this anymore.
Not really deja vu, just nostalgia.
It kind of was a little bit. So now I'm trying to think about other Christmas movies. Now there's some Hallmark ones out there that's just about more than I can stand. They're just cheesy.
What about well, I mean, there's those A Wonderful Life and all those like that.
Now, there was an animated one with Frosty, I think, that I saw as a kid that I liked.
Well, yeah,
some cartoons aren't creepy.
The little ones that come on every year, Rudolph and Frosty.
Yeah, it's like the Scooby-Doo. They had a little kids version with Scrappy-Doo, and Scooby-Doo was young, and all the kids were like Daphne and Thelma and all them were supposed to be kids. I thought that was really cute. That cartoon didn't freak me out. I thought that was darling. When I was first pregnant with Ira, I went back through watching those.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot on my mind. I was worried and I didn't feel good and I just felt like throwing up all the time. So I was like, I better just do something that makes me happy. And all I could think of, all I desperately wanted to do was watch the Scooby-Doo cartoon we watched at Granny's. So I started watching Scrappy-Doo.
I've never been one.
It made me
when
feel
I was
better.
young, I didn't really like cartoons much. Paul loved them. I didn't like them much. I'd rather watch like a show with people in it. But one time, one of mine and Paul's cousins, she was real little then, but they were watching Super Friends. She was up at our house, and I don't remember what the episode was or whatever. Something, of course, dramatic, whether it was Superman or Aquaman or whoever was going to save the day. And she was just little, but she said, those actors must get paid so much.
That's really cute.
It was Cousin Kim.
Oh, I was wondering who'd said it.
Yeah,
it's awfully cute.
Those actors must get paid so much to do that. She's just little though.
It's cute.
It reminds me of the America's Funniest Home Videos. That was real popular when Corey and Katie was little. And one time Corey was watching it, or maybe it was a rerun, I don't know. But anyway, she was watching it, and it was, how they would sometimes have animals doing funny things, and then they would put a voice to it.
They would, yeah.
And it was a horse, like opening its mouth real big and saying something, not really, but she said, Corey said, "Oh, Mama, I didn't know horses could talk too." I said, "Well, they can't, honey, they can't."
Oh, that's cute, ain't it?
Yeah. Okay, I think our first ones are ready. I got a mess over here already.
That's okay. This always makes me think about, all the times that we made the cookies. And all the different places that we made the cookies, all the different tables, different kitchen tables we had. When the table was over here, when it was over there. I think that's kind of a sweet thought of just
I've got pictures.
How things have changed. Yeah.
I was telling the nice people here earlier when I first started the video about how every year we would do that. We would, you know, make cookies, tradition, and every year I'd wonder by the end of it, why did I do this? Because it would be such a mess, and usually devolve either way,
deteriorate
into making sideburns and things like that. You know, really just hysterical silliness.
Hysteria is what it turned into, yeah.
And a mess and all that. But it was fun. But yeah, I've got pictures of y'all doing them.
Well,
several different ones.
It goes so quick before you know it. You're all grown up.
Yeah. I've got some silly pictures of me and Paul doing it. One of them somewhere was a picture of Paul with a bread bag on his head. Being silly. We got pretty silly too. So
sounds like it got real wild. You know something, I was just thinking, I mean, it seems and feels just like yesterday that we were doing this last Christmas. I mean, just like yesterday. I feel like I literally just did this. It's like kind of spooky.
The older you get, the faster it goes. We're going to have to...
Scraps.
Yeah, here. Let me decorate these and then we'll put them in.
Okay.
The older you go, the faster it gets, or what I've found for me.
I know, it's kind of sad.
Well, it's sad, but too, just enjoy.
Well, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, it's better than the alternative, but just enjoy every bit that you can.
Yeah. We'll make Ira do this with us next year.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun.
Everything is so much funner with kids.
It is, seeing the world through your kids.
Through their eyes, yeah.
When I had Katie and Corey, so many things, you know, you get to relive your childhood through them, you know, whether it was this or, you know, I think about me teaching y'all and you learning some of them at school too, but the Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black, you know, all the little,
we loved that.
The jump rope songs, all those things that you just totally forgot about, the things that kids say that just somehow just keep going forever, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's sweet, ain't it? It's a sweet thought. It really is.
There's so many things you forgot about childhood, and when you have kids and you get to be reminded of them.
You get to do it all over again. I think that's special.
It is. Are we going to start crying?
Honestly,
okay,
these days I'm so tired, like, because Ira is such a rambunctious little boy. It's almost sometimes I'm like, you know, I feel really moved. I could cry, you know, but I'm just too tired. My body's too tired to make tears. So, thoughtful, we'll just have to do.
Okay, if you can just, here, I'll do it, lay them over here. I could bring them over here, but it's kind of hot, so I'll do it over here.
Okay.
I did manage to do one other thing. Still sitting over there on the stove, but I made some Chex Mix, like party mix. I got Miss Cindy's recipe out. I'd been thinking about it.
I thought I heard a baby.
Okay, I thought you heard a baby.
Apparently I don't.
I've got her recipe out because I'd been thinking about it, so I bought what I thought was the ingredients that I needed last time I was at the grocery store. I did not buy them all. And then I thought, well, I'll just half it and then leave part of the stuff out that I didn't get and just see what happens.
And what happened?
And it turned out okay. It turned out good. Turned out good, I think. And just, you know, I don't know. I just got into thinking about it. She used to make that a lot. She used to make, this is when she was still in Black Mountain, and she'd make it and bring us some of it. And she made these cookies out of cake mix. You probably can't remember them, Corey, but they were good too.
Katie?
Did I call you Corey?
Did you call me Corey?
Sorry, I'm turning into Granny, ain't I? Granny will be telling me about something about Paul and me saying Steve, and I know it's not Steve.
Sometimes Granny tries to say things about you, and she's like, Corey, and I'm like, no, you mean Mom.
Yeah, I'm doing it too. Anyway, Miss Cindy and Bill, way back then, they would make stuff like that. Those cookies and the Chex Mix and all that, and they would take it to the students at Warren Wilson College that didn't get to go anywhere, didn't get to go home for Christmas.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
I didn't know they did that.
They did, yeah.
Lord, them too, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That is sweet, ain't it?
It was very sweet of them to do that.
Alright, well, you just thought the year of the sideburns was over.
Oh no, you're going to have to do a sideburn?
Yep.
Okay.
Just for old time's sake. And this one's not really going to be so much a sideburn as it's just going to be a kind of, well, it could be kind of a sideburn. A Funktown rectangle.
Like those days when sideburns, those big thick ones.
Those
Pork chop.
Yes, that's
pork
hilarious.
Chop.
I love that, and personally, if I were a man, that's how I would be.
You'd wear.
Yes, and I hope that everybody, I wish people would continue to do that. Personally, I think this should be 1970 as far as apparel and appearance goes. But, you know.
Let's see if we can get your daddy to come try a cookie with us since you're on the last.
Okay, since I'm on the last one.
Matt, you want to try a cookie?
I realize I've not hardly looked up at this camera. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to ignore.
No, it's okay.
I'm just busy making cookies.
Okay, he said he'd love to have a cookie.
He said if somebody twisted his arm.
Yeah. See, they turn out pretty even with just that little stuff. Poor Olive.
Listen, you don't need a cookie, Olive.
Let's see, where's one of the... Oh, here's one of the Frosties. With his little broom. Okay, Matt, you want... Katie's making...
A stocking.
Oh, I thought it was a sideburn.
It's a stocking, look at it.
Hey, what?
A stocking. What? You trying to tell me I'm not saying it right?
What would you like to taste?
Taste a snowman. Get a snowman. Look, there's one. He's got a broom. Okay, Daddy don't want the snowman.
I want that one.
Oh, it is a snowman. Just a
The
different.
one's got little sprinkles on it.
There you go.
Poor Olive.
Olive's gonna talk, y'all.
She does talk sometimes.
What would you like me to
Oh,
do?
you can't eat them. I'm
No, I
offering them
cannot.
to you. I'm so sorry. You can't eat them.
Don't worry about it.
Katie's helping us, but she can't eat. Okay.
Very good.
That's okay. Katie has got a serious resolve. Katie's committed.
I, on the other hand, do not.
That is one thing I've learned from all this. I must have a stronger resolve than what I thought I had. Because you've got to be strong to...
I have no willpower whatsoever when it comes to eating.
I have more than what I thought.
These are really good.
Gosh, yeah.
Alright, and it wouldn't be complete without just your traditional cookie. Just a round...
Round cookie.
Yeah, just a round traditional cookie.
Can you taste the orange in them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna decorate this one just right here, put a little bit of something on it. Take it over there.
It's not overly strong, but I think it just gives a brightness. There's a brightness. Matt's gonna have to get him some milk.
Yeah. Guess this will be supper.
It better not be. You better get you some other food groups in here. This won't hold you and you'll be hungry.
We've got leftovers for supper.
Yeah, you've got supper. This is just the pre...
We're eating our dessert first.
Yeah.
We've got soup, beans, and cornbread. And ham, and I ate all the kraut. I guess the canned coleslaw that's in the refrigerator. Want another?
And the, yeah. And the hot tomato pickles that I made.
Matt's hot pickles.
We need a rag.
Yeah, I had one. But no, wait, it might be that in back there. Thank you.
It was really good and really fun, Katie. Thank you.
Yeah, we did have fun.
We have continued the tradition.
That's right. And all of us been a part of it too. We'll find her a treat. You can have a treat, but you just can't have a
I'm
cookie.
fixing to take her outside.
She can go outside.
She's wanting to go out and chase squirrels and birds
Oh,
and
you gonna go outside?
cats and
Get over
other
here.
dogs and everything else.
Oh, pitiful. Say, it's not like people don't just love and love and love on you 24/7, huh? How about it?
Katie's back with her. She can't have raisins, so she's eating raisins. I'm like Katie. I'm looking forward to the day when the little boys can be here helping. That'll be a lot of fun. And I'll probably at the end of that think, why did I do this? But I kept doing it every year with Katie and Corey. And even though it ended and usually got a big, huge mess, and maybe they're, especially when they're real little, some tears and stuff, it's worth it.
Yeah. We got too jacked up over the cookies.
Yeah, and fighting over each, who knows, fighting over who got to make the sideburn.
Probably.
No, that was later. That was in their teenage years when they did that. So we hope you enjoyed coming along with us for our annual Celebrating Appalachia Sugar Cookie event.
Yeah.
Really, it's more like just my Christmas tradition since I've been doing it since I was a little girl. But we're always grateful when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
That's right. Bye. Alright, you two. If you don't behave, you'll both get the rolling pin right to the head. Is that what you want? Yeah, I didn't think so.